somebody tampered with my vehicle on that side street.
Hey, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Good. Good.
How are you? Good to see you, sir.
Present.
Mr. Hughes, you still going to the school workshop?
Yes, that's like next week. I do something, I was doing something, yes, yeah, I got it on my calendar, yes, ma'am. I might have to leave like that Monday, so I'm
Yeah,
Sunday, Monday,
I
Tuesday.
don't watch
I might have to leave like
TV.
Monday.
You're the president.
Oh, yeah, I watched it. It's been about a month ago. The man came to the CDC and what he did was he came to the front gate. He told them what I told you is that he had took the COVID virus and he was unhappy about it. They told him, well, it's nothing we can do about you. You need to leave. He just started shooting.
What?
And then when the guards
Curtis crib.
Yes. All right, we're gonna start with, item 3, the committee reports, and, we'll go to, section A, Finance Committee. Number 1 under that's gonna be the 2025-2026 budget.
Okay, good evening,
Good evening.
and I want to thank you all for coming out this afternoon to go over the preliminary budget. And, as I know, stated, we're still working on the budget, this is a draft.
Right.
We're working, waiting for the State Department to update some figures, and I think they may do tonight, for our federal programs where we separating us and charter. So they still working on those numbers.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is the best possible budget I can present to you all right now.
Right.
It may by Thursday, we may see some minor changes in it, or some changes in it, so.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I put draft on the front.
Okay.
So, going through, Ms. Oxley was gonna come, bring it on up, that Mr. Peters to the first page. She's on the other this way. Take it to the next, I called her, she said she was on. So while we're waiting and looking at it, so. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see your copy properly, because I can't see it.
Yeah,
But anyway,
bigger pond up there, bigger something else.
okay, we're gonna start with line 6, our renewable taxes, and looking at our renewable taxes, which is our property taxes, it didn't change that much. We only, I think a difference of like 30,000 if you add those two together in renewable property taxes. So, in the budget, I consistently stayed with what we received last year. We're gonna go down to number 9, our sale and use taxes, and I wanna point out a couple things in that.
Yes, ma'am.
On your budget, on line 9, you will see in the previous fiscal year, we received 4.4 million. In 25, our actual revenue received was 4.1 million. So that's close to a $400,000 reduction in revenue. Dr. Hurst and I went to a sales tax meeting on last Thursday.
Right.
It's a Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was kind of down throughout the throughout the parish. So we hopefully some of the recovery will come back this year. You know, we had the loss of the sawmill that went down, food industry.
Oh, yeah.
Went down for a while.
But they're
So
gonna
Right.
crank back up though.
So hopefully they get back on
Yeah.
track. And then we had some, one-time payments that was included in that revenue where we will not be receiving again this year. So I just wanted to show you that our, sales tax revenue did go down from one
And
year to
Ms.
the
Walker,
next.
this would include the charter schools coming out of that too, or that's before the charter schools?
No, no, this is what we actually received, and I'll get to how the charter school received their money. So what the state did this year, since we're on that, since the charter effective July 1, they took, and you'll see, in line 28,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see the previous year we received 7.8 million.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna go down to 7.30 million, 7.730,000 for that year. So that
What,
takes.
what line was that?
28.
28.
Yeah.
Okay, well, looked like it went up, huh? Or that,
That was a budgeted amount, but then I
Okay.
had to revise the budget.
okay,
But the actual received in the middle was 7.8, and this year, we're gonna go down to 7.730,000.
okay.
Yeah, and it may see a little change, because like I say, they still working with me, because I've been back and forth with the State Department on charters, numbers, and my numbers, so, it may be changed, you know, until we drastically get it correct.
Yes, ma'am.
So, that's a decrease also, and then we lost a few students on last year, got 75 students, so that reflects in this too.
Yeah.
So, I wanna say we did receive a,
Well, did we
reduction.
lose any this year?
Good
Well,
question,
on that, right now, we are up a few students,
Praise
so
God.
hopefully we
Good.
sustain that,
yeah. Good.
Good.
from last year, so, I don't count anything till October 1.
I
Right.
understand
Yeah,
that.
so,
Understood.
We
if
have
we
the
sustain,
latecomers.
and what we
I
doing this
understand.
year, we're monitoring it day by day. If kids are not coming, so we have some kids who hadn't showed up at all, so I'm asking them to remove them from the books, take their names off, and, if if they gone to another school district, they know that on some of them, they say they were just waiting on a request. So we're asking those to take those students' name off our records. And they're gonna be picking them up on the other district, but we can see from another district if they're in there. So we're asking the schools to remove those. So we've been on top of that, daily, and student services has been happy with that, going out, checking on students and finding them. And you know, sometimes students don't wanna come to school till after Labor Day.
But that's what, and Ms.
That's
Walker,
always
they're
been an
not
issue.
counted until they actually show up anyway, or the body has to show up.
We count them from the first day. We moved the enrollment from last year over to this year. Now, and we look and see if they ain't came in 5 days, they are out, I think they doing it like day by day now, going out to see
Oh,
what
they
they
are?
are.
Right.
They checking them
They
out.
used not to
So-
do that.
They
So
go
we
and find
doing,
it.
we really on top of it and checking and making sure if they're not gonna be with us, we wanna take them off so we can get an accurate count of how
Right.
many students we have.
Right.
And so I'm excited that we are stable from what we had last year, at least we staying the same and we're up a few. So I know
Good.
more about that, you know, October 1, and hopefully they stay with us, it's kind of even out and that'll be a good thing. So
Thank
we are up some with the MFP count.
And I can add that our student services, since day one, they have been doing an excellent job going out, getting a list of students who haven't been showing up, going to their homes, you know, trying to figure out, you know, what's the concerns are. And I could discuss this on Thursday. We have 7 students from outside the district who are in our virtual academy, who otherwise wouldn't be our
Nice.
students. So it's 6 or 7, I got the exact number.
So that's also growing, our virtual academy is also growing.
I like
So, but then I just wanted to point out that our sales tax did go down in revenue, but hopefully it goes back up this year, and with the, hood coming back in, so, we should see another increase. Hopefully we stabilize. Okay, look at line number 18, is the Medicaid revenue. You'll see in the previous budget, we had budgeted 544,000. This year, we only collected 189,000. So what we're gonna do different this year, Miss Carrie Carrie King is gonna be billing. She can bill cause she's a social worker with her degree level, she can bill. So we'll be getting Medicaid revenue from her, and also our nurses will go back billing. So that should increase our revenue in that area again. So, that should bring it up. Well, I put budgeted around 255,000. If I see we started getting more, I will adjust that budget.
it. Yes, ma'am.
So hopefully we will get more in Medicaid revenue from the billing, from the social worker and the nurses. Go down to number 39. This is a line item that is other restricted state revenue. That's where the state sends our, MFP money for our raises. They haven't told us yet what it's gonna be actually be. They still trying to figure out, like I told y'all, this between the charter and ourselves. This is a rough year of them separating numbers. They trying to get it correct on their side to give them what they supposed to receive versus what we supposed to receive. So this number may change once they validate and give us the number.
This is not that $2,000 or $3,000 that every teacher's supposed to get, huh?
Yeah, the 2,000
This is
and
it?
1,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
It-
okay,
I
I thought that
they
was
tell
all.
us to put it not in MFP, they put it in other restricted because
Okay.
it's one-time stipends.
Right.
So they asked us to put it there, but, this is kind of what we received last year with everyone, but I know it's probably gonna go down, and it may go, I'm not sure, it may adjust accordingly, I'm not really accurately sure of what they will do, so soon as they do that, that number may change. And they told me they're working on it, they'll probably have the 1st of September, because they have not sent our, guidance on how much we're gonna receive. They usually send us a letter, say, this is what you're gonna receive for Bowling City School, this how many teachers get the 2,000, this, support will get the 1,000. So that, they're gonna pull that out of that figure, but then readjust all our other numbers. So, like I say, it's been kind of hard this year budgeting, knowing
Right.
charters
Got a
coming
lot of
out and
changes.
doing what we, doing what we can. They gave us some preliminary numbers, so that what we're going off on preliminary right now.
Well, Ms. Walker, I heard something. Is that's supposed to be another 1,000, maybe 3,000 for teachers?
No, with this, if they pass, you know how the governor put out that, tax, last year was a H bill, I'm not sure what number it was. If we had passed it, he said that could have been a permanent raise for the
Right.
teachers. So what they did in the legislature this year, they passed a resolution, but he's gonna bring it back to the voters for it to be a permanent raise. So the one they getting now is not permanent. But
You, the voters, who you talking about?
the
The people?
people in
Okay.
the community.
Not the
voters.
legislature, huh?
Yeah, registered
Okay.
voters.
But in that, he wants us, they say they're gonna decrease the retirement percentage,
and we supposed to pay the raise from the savings that we receive. So that's kinda iffy too, you know, so, what if you get more people? And, you know, so this is what he's saying, they're gonna bring the retirement, we're paying around 21% right now. He said they're gonna bring it down, might be 15, we don't sure, that's words, so. But he's gonna
15
put it
for
on-
who, for them or us?
For us.
For us.
For us.
Okay, then, so what happens if it's more than that?
We have to take it upon ourselves, it would be an unfunded mandate that the district has to pick up. But they requiring us to pay it after this year, if it
Okay.
passes, they
Okay.
saying y'all have to pay that,
Okay.
2,000 and 1,000.
Okay.
So, okay, let's go down to, number 58, transfer indirect costs.
This is the indirect costs that we receive from federal programs grants. And as you know, we had ESSER and all these other grants. One year before, we received 1.9 million. Last year, and I had to revise the budget, that 1.1 million showed what I had revised it to in the year. But the year before, we received 1.9 million in indirect costs, because we had a lot of ESSER money. As you can see, this year, we only received 879,000. That number probably will go down also, because I'm waiting on them to verify all our grants with SPED and Title I and all the titles, how much they actually gonna give them once they move charter out. And this is taking them, it's been complex because they went from a type 1 to a type 2. It's been kind of complex with the State Department to get these numbers. So they said they're working on, they say they might hit tonight, they don't know, we're not really sure. So hopefully within the next few days or week, we should know what the actual numbers are and that actual budget that they're gonna give our federal program. Any questions so far?
Ms. Walker, I have a question, I don't understand this. On the, Medicaid, contributions, are they taking Medicaid out of the employees' checks?
Yeah, that some people pay, no, they pay Medicare,
Oh, Medicare, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the tax.
a tax on Medicare.
Okay, let me ask you this, then, those people, cause I was paying it, y'all didn't give me any money when I retired. Now, look, if they, that's the truth, I paid all my money, I didn't get none of it back. Are they gonna get some of that money back when they retire?
No, but it's a
What's the
tax.
purpose?
It's a
It's a
Medicare
tax.
tax.
It's
It's a
happening.
tax,
what?
it's
We
not
gotta
a,
pay into Social
Why they
Security.
gotta pay tax and you don't get nothing back? Look like the people that's getting the money back ought to be paying the tax.
Well, it came in 1984, and it's a tax now to help fund the Medicare program.
But no, ma'am, we do not.
Any other questions on the revenue portion?
that's our
So, in
government
looking at
work.
that, I had to work the budget. As you can see, the actual budget for previous year was 27 million. Our budget this year right now is at 20 million. So, when looking at.
20 million.
Yeah, it looks like they're down about 7.
And why is that? Because of the programs
Yeah,
that
look at, the biggest portion was North Shore
Hood,
Charter. Look
yeah,
at number
and then
29.
29.
We transferred 5.5 million to North Shore Charter.
Right,
So that comes off, we don't get their money anymore, it goes straight to them. I don't have to write them a check, usually
Okay.
every month I would write them a check. We pay their, federal programs, grants, you know, if they order, we pay all that through the district. We don't have to do that anymore.
For this year, the state send the money to
They
them.
send it to them.
Yeah. So a combination of that and tax dollars are down.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a big portion, that 5.5 million comes off of that, where they start receiving that money themselves.
But after this year, we won't have to list them on our books.
Well, it's gonna go away, cause I put zero there, you know, it comes off, you see right there, next to the end, the current budget, $0 on number 29. I put 0 there.
Right.
oh, yeah.
But remember, we still have to pay local revenue to them. So what they do, they take the money, and give it to them, and then they take it from our MFP every month. It's like 200-something thousand.
Well, if they move the Suns, would it be the same thing?
Yes, ma'am. Well, the Sun, St. Tammany, no, they probably won't move to St. If they go to St. Tammany, it'll be their charge. If they
Well, I
come-
heard they bought some land in St.
It's not in
It's-
St.
No,
it's
it's,
right on
it's
It's
right
right
on
on
the
the
line,
line.
but it's not in St.
Well,
James.
can't we push it
So
over a
they say.
little?
Let's do some redistricting,
Just redraw that line.
No, if they go to St. Tammany, it'll be St. Tammany's responsibility.
Well,
Right now,
okay.
they would get
I knew it was
Washington.
close,
Still
I
have
didn't
not
know.
been able to get a physical address for that piece of property.
So in saying that, that's why I say I had to, work on the budget for as put it within the 20 million we're gonna be receiving. And so I had to, go through and adjust our budget, and also we did get a little percentage down in our retirement this year, so that helped us save a little. It went from 21.5 or something, to 20 point something, so we did see a little savings in that.
23.5%.
So, in working with that, I kinda, what I normally do, I look at what we did the previous year, I go put our salaries in, and then I adjust it accordingly.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I'm not gonna go through every salary column, and you see most of it is gonna be your salary, your benefits. If you turn to, page 3, you'll see, most of it, you'll see group insurance, substitute, Medicare, New Zealand teacher retirement, workman's comp, then the salary. Everything under there falls, if you have a salary, you're gonna have those benefits that falls under that. So, we did, if you go back up to the top, I did put some, money in there for computer supplies, cause we are having to buy some more Chromebooks this year in, each school, so that's number 275. You see, I had put 52,000 there for, high school, 32 for central, 24. So I have Miss Angela and her department, the department, the technology department, excuse me, working on, seeing if we're gonna have to buy any more Chromebooks, cause they age out in so many years, cause we bought 100 and something, I think, back in the spring. So I asked them to monitor, cause I don't wanna come up at the last minute and say we need Chromebooks, and it's a
You
lot
don't
bigger
have the
to
money.
purchase, so I kinda put some money there, hopefully to offset some of the things. So, that's where we on that. And in textbooks this year, I had to put a little money in those columns, mostly the ESSER grant, on line 285, the ESSER grants usually picked up all of our instructional material and supplies, but now that ESSER's no longer with us, the general fund is having to pick up a lot of that now. So, that's why, usually I didn't have any money, didn't have to spend any money in textbooks, but
Right.
this year I'm having to do that, because ESSER is gone, and we're having to take on a lot of responsibility through the general fund.
I'm getting hit for both ends, bringing in less and paying out more.
Yes, yes, sir. So, you go down, start going with our salaries, as I stated, you know, we'll have the salary for, 366, 358, start with your salaries, and most of you see under there, your insurance, your social security, your Medicare, your teacher's retirement, and that's throughout the budget. Majority of the budget usually be about 80% of your salary, the rest is instructional material and supplies, and, et cetera. Upkeeping of the district, maintenance, et cetera. I'll give you a chance to look through some of those.
And we did have a savings with our property insurance, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's on page, on page 16, line 2812.
Page what?
Page 16, 20, line 2812.
Right. That's a substantial savings there.
Got it, Ms. Brooks? Okay, you see, last year we paid $544,000 in property insurance, and I stated in the previous meeting that we seen a savings of 200,000. So my budget this year went down to 315,000 for property insurance. So hopefully our automobile and our liability insurance don't renew to October 1. So hopefully it doesn't go too much over the $238,000 we have budgeted for that. If the increase, they stated maybe 5 to 7%, but we'll see when it comes in. Cause Lawmer, that's what we do our liability insurance to, which covers all of our, automobiles, our buses, our, liability for suits and et cetera. So, the other is just basically, like I say, salaries, materials and supplies in certain categories. And, if previous fund balance, at the end of '24, we had a $7.7 million fund balance. This year, we're gonna end up with a it's the last page. Page 26. We'll end up with a $6.8 million fund balance. Within the year, we had a deficit, but thank God we had a fund balance. But because of the decrease in revenue in the MFP, decrease in sales taxes, and those other things decreasing, so that's why, what made up the,
You save up for rainy day.
around 940,000. Okay. The last page. Oh, that's right, with the general fund. You have to go page 26. Are there any questions or discussions? Yeah, they're probably one of the federal programs. I'll give you time to look at it, look through it.
Okay, yeah, right. I have about 20 pages.
Can you fix that?
He has to cut his mic off and stuff.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
So, even with all of the, federal programs and all of the cuts and everything that are gonna happen this school year, we're still in pretty good shape, huh?
Yes, ma'am, but,
Okay.
Dr. Hurst and I have been talking that we're gonna definitely look closely at the budget this year. And definitely when we get our count, we'll know what number of students we have. And we're gonna address it accordingly, what we need to do going forward. And we've been looking at areas that, we're trying to decrease in budgetary items and expenditures to see, where we can save. Cause I definitely don't like to have a deficit, but we did have that, but some unknown, we had those students lost and revenue loss with sales tax. That's something that's, out of our hands.
Yeah.
So, good, we had our fund balance that we've been saving up, so.
We
We're gonna
wanna
look
keep
closely at that.
we wanna keep the fund balance too,
So
if
we're
we
gonna
can.
be looking at closely, we've talked about 10 to 12 month employments and those kind of things, so we're gonna be looking at all that. And seeing what areas we may can reduce in. Throughout the whole budget, not just salaries, through the whole budget. Travel, all kinds of areas.
And one of the reasons we kind of doing that now, even when we sign up for the conferences like the superintendent's conference and the law conference, one of the topics they are discussing is preparing school boards for RIFs. Make sure you have everything in place for RIFs. So
I
we
hope
don't
we
want to
won't
get
have
to
to
the
do that.
point where we have to do a RIF. That's why as people leave, we may not replace and just kind of divide those duties.
The only problem I have with RIF is if you're RIF, then you don't get your, retirement. You don't?
If they have the years,
Well, I remember a case that I had, when I was in Title I, when Mr. Payne was here. They said that the person wasn't getting
She
retirement, so they had her to just go ahead on and retire, rather than be ripped.
and we've done that, I think
Uh-huh,
we, before what we did, if it comes to that, we did offer a package to
Right,
those who
right,
retire.
yeah. I just
Yeah,
hate for
then we
people to
lost-
work
a lot
and
of
then
people-
lose their
not a lot, but we had a
retirement.
good many, maybe 10 to retire. I think that's the package we offered for them to retire. But, everything is centered around the students, based on the number of students we have.
That's right.
So, we would be closely monitor that. And, hopefully hopefully, and revenue come back up, which they were confident at the meeting that the revenue started coming back up, so we'll see. And if we sustain the number of students we have now and see that little growth, that would be good for us also. So, we,
Do they still do the first 15-day count? Or
no, we
you don't
go
do
day
that?
one.
Yeah, we just talked about that, yeah.
We even
Before we
started
got
counting
here,
on the
they
bus.
did.
Yeah, we even went to, we did the
Every-
bus counts this year, we,
Okay.
the students, so, and we just overall looking at a lot of savings throughout the district. Looking at the buses, the routes,
Student count
we're doing a lot of
better
things
than
that,
last,
Okay.
right now.
Right now, we're a little bit ahead, okay, good.
yeah, the student count, is up a little. As I say, hope, we got to maintain to October 1. That's the main date. Cause you know they do October 1 count, then they come back and do a February 1st
February.
count. October 1, if they give you money, you know, they won't take it until March for the next year. So we have to be very careful to know, you know, like they
Right.
came and took this
I
number.
remember.
So, we're diligent, and monitoring the budget every day. I do that
Just
every
go for a motion.
day. Monitor and see what we can save.
And we appreciate that.
We're gonna get on the employees at the
This
schools,
is for
turn the lights
public,
out.
we're not
You know, a lot of
No.
times bad about the school
We're not
lights are
for-
still on for the weekend. But we need to start monitoring that, make sure you put the lights out. That can save you on the weekend.
Pretty
Right?
It is.
Turn that air
That's the
conditioner,
Every penny
Yeah.
turn
counts.
that air temp up a
Everything.
little bit.
But, for all we went through last year and the adjustments with charter leaving and our budgets, I mean, I think we did pretty good to kind of stay, sustain, but we're gonna be watching it very closely.
Yeah, you can.
Pretty good.
And we did save a few positions, in classrooms and also, other positions, we did save.
What you mean?
Like teachers, like, I think, let me see, Central, maybe they didn't need another teacher, because they went down, she said she didn't need that many, so we
Okay,
did
I got
consolidate. And we've been looking at that now, at Byrd, we had to add a teacher, they have kindergarten, gonna be 6 classes now.
Wow.
We had
That's
5, and we're going up to 6 classes, and so they had too many students, so we added another teacher.
Good,
Yeah,
So it's gonna be 20 to 1.
that's good.
Right,
We have
increase
total
in younger
6.
kids too.
So we'll have 6 classes of kindergarten.
We're also looking at programs too, like Seven Mindsets was like $90,000. But doing research, we found a program that was totally free. All we gotta do is send a couple of staff members to get the training, and it's totally free.
Wow.
So, and our student services are already on top of it. And the program that's free mimics the Seven Mindsets program. So, the students still receive those services, and they are in the schools every day.
We got a lot of vendor contracts that we have. And if it's duplicating something we have, they, instruction and curriculum, they're looking at that closely. So, you know, when they had the ESSA money, they gave us the opportunity to buy other
Well,
programs.
are they looking at other, I don't know who would do this, but are they looking for other grants that we can possibly write for?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
one she's looking at, cause we have one that, well, I don't know if it's a grant, with the students where they can work for the CTE program.
Oh, that's through the state. That's through a bill
That's
where we can hire students to work, but state reimburses $1,000 per
Reimburses.
student. So,
They don't reimburse 100%, though, do they?
no,
No, they get so many hours.
Yeah.
They I think it's $1,000 a student, I may be wrong.
yeah, it's 1,000 per student.
Yeah, so they gonna get to work in industry. So the state, it's some kind of bill that was passed, that they gonna give us money for those students.
And where will these students come from, or what grades are, I know they have to be a certain age, but,
I think, I don't know if they
Seniors.
have 11 or 12.
Seniors,
Class of
16.
16.
Some will be at the hospital, some will work within the system. I think they're looking at the paper mills, sending a couple over there, so it just depends. We have to develop a partnership with those agencies.
who broke your neck?
Yeah, so we have that. And also, like I say, we're waiting to see what they do with the other grants, that I can go, I mean, in your budgets you have, whereas our, Title I program, you see they budgets in there, but we don't really know, let me see what page that is. It's right behind 26, first one would be, school redesign, and that money on page, one of that budget, it's right behind number two. It's school redesign,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna get 445,000 right now, but that, only thing we're gonna be able to use it on was for vendors and instruction and curriculum. I think a lot of it's going to math vendors,
Mhm.
cause they put a lot of money out there for math, what's the name of that program again?
But what about those other things like, paying people to go get certified or go to school, that's still gonna be there or not?
Not a lot.
What?
We don't have a lot in the budget for Title II. So we're trying to come to innovative
Well,
ways
what
like
about
they do.
taking the practice,
Ma'am,
taking the practice with money being there for that still?
I think they still can, if they take the practice, I think they still can reimburse them.
That's what I'm
for some
talking
of it.
about.
And I know in HR, we're reaching out to the REACH program, and it's another program where they can go and,
Mhm.
they can get in to get certification.
Without paying?
I don't know if they have to pay.
Southeastern that they're offering that you have to pay, and then there's another one that came through via online. Everything you have to pay for, nothing's free unless, we come up with something to where we may offer to pay a portion of the fee for those who are trying to get certified.
And going through there, that is redesign, and go through, you'll see another budget for the health center, you know, the health center is through Access Health. What Access Health does, they do all the billing and stuff, and they pay for the salaries, they send us a monthly invoice every month for the salary.
So it didn't come out?
No.
Not,
Only if they come up a little short, cause we supposed to be like a, agency or partnership with them, but most of the time, they pay the majority of the salary.
Okay.
Next, you have 8G. This year, I think she's gonna focus on something at Bird Avenue for 8G. So you know 8G, you know how you have to switch it up every year. You can't spend it on the same thing. So, last year their focus was, Central, but this year the focus is gonna be at Bird. And she had $61,000 to do that. All the grants are decreasing. The state, they cutting them back.
Cutting the grants too, huh?
We have our LA4, which is our pre-K program. The state mostly funds it, but the general fund has picked up, this year we picked up like $33,000 in that. And the total cost, the budget for this year, $548,000. Food service, we've been focusing on food service this year. We're trying to get the kids in the cafeteria. I've asked her to ask the principal to make sure all kids are eating, because that's what she generates her revenue from when they go in, because you know, all kids eat free. So, but if they don't, that's lost revenue that they can't get in the food service program. So we're doing it like a little pilot. And then also they can feed them for, practice when they stay after the football practice, band, any practice they have,
That's
cheerleading,
good.
they can get paid for that if they give them a snack. So they have been participating, I've been talking to Miss Christie, they have been participating and taking lunches, or not lunches, snacks over there for them practice. So, hopefully her revenue will go up this year in that area. Have another budget for, IDA. 44, she lost, a good bit of revenue in, sped program. They actually received 700 on page less, and I don't know what page it's on, cause it's behind. But it's, 44 special education IDA, it's page 1, but it's gonna be behind the other grants. It's Fund 44, they received 798,000 in, revenue last year. This year, they expected to receive 531,000, but that's probably gonna go down once they move charters out of there also. So, that's why I say we're kinda waiting to see what they do, and hopefully it'll be tonight when they do.
Well, when is charter leaving?
They gone.
I mean, they got another, the school I'm talking about, they don't have,
Huh?
I'm
They,
talking about this new school.
oh, and I don't know when they're gonna do that, but it's the money that goes, you know, with them when they move out. So hopefully after this year, we won't have to be trying to figure out what they can get charged, it'll all be settled and gone, once they take it. they use that for the preschool students that's in sped, that's disadvantaged. Title one, it's kind of to the back, I don't have a page, but it's 59, Fund 59. If you look to your left, you'll see 59. Last year, she received 2.3 million. She's gonna only receive right now 1.7. That may go down, I can say this, when they put the action on it. So, and that's some of that coming off of charter and also the decrease in the grant. So, it's a decrease throughout the budget on revenue, even with grants. And I know, we used to title having pretty much.
Plenty money.
But it's going down.
They get tighten the purse string.
Yeah. And a lot of it's coming from the federal level.
I know,
Yeah.
Title two, hopefully, she having here 186,000, but she not really sure of what she's gonna do for Title two. And that's why we end up paying a lot of people tuitions and stuff out of it. Not the whole tuition, but it's part of it.
yeah.
69. So basically, as you can see throughout the budget, a lot of us, we losing money throughout the federal program and the,
But that's all over.
so we're doing the best we can, with what we have, and we're trying to be conservative and good stewards.
So in other words, don't come and ask for an extra, right? I heard that conservative,
Yeah, so we,
but I think we're okay, much better than what I thought it was gonna be.
just like I said, we had that fund balance to help us, so, but we wanna keep it as y'all stated, that we're gonna try to look at ways we can save. For this year, we're gonna start early, end of the year, second half of the semester, these might be some changes. And if hopefully the MFP stay consistent for October 1, that's a main track
Oh,
for how we're gonna go forward.
one question, probably not relevant to what we're talking about right now, but it just popped in my pea brain. Have we zeroed out that QSAB loan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the final paperwork on it, back and forth, they did the bank bought out Renaissance, bought out the first. So they're trying to,
I know
get their
it messed us
paperwork.
up in our,
Cause I had to use it the first
banking
time in the
business.
payroll, cause they told us at first we were gonna have to change, we were gonna stay with the same banking and then enrolling and all.
yeah,
They sent us an email a month ago, so I had to do a whole change. So I sent the first one the other day, I had to stay on the phone about an hour till they answered it, but, yeah. So it went through, y'all got your payroll checks.
important.
Yeah. But I'm waiting on them, I did talk to Ms. Tracy this morning at the bank, I'm still waiting on the paperwork to,
Okay.
say it's paid off.
That's a good feeling to know that that's
Yep.
taken care of.
Yeah. Any questions? Any other questions?
I think you did a fine job, Ms. Walker. You and your team. You and your all, y'all always working for the city of Boulder school system. So,
Thank God for
think y'all
them.
did a good job. After everything we've been dealing with the feds and the state, because we know they're pro-charter, so we have to realize what we face.
At this time, do we have anybody from the community that wants to speak?
Renika Watkins, I don't think I'm on, but 707 Mississippi Avenue. So, quick question, for these, groupings that say salaries, how are we supposed to understand how many people they represent? If you look on page 3, line item 358, it says teachers kindergarten, 300 and something thousand, actual 278. How many does that represent? Where's the organizational chart so that the public can crosswalk the number of salaries represented in each budgeted section to the staffing plan for Bogalusa City Schools? Second, there's no discussion or narrative about how this budget aligns to the $120,000 strategic plan that we have. The community would like to know what we're funding and how that's going to further our goals as a district. We're just having a conversation here tonight, but the conversation needs to be comprehensive. We have a problem with our children in assessments, and there are 5, I think, critical areas that have been identified, but we can't tell how this aligns to those particular goals. And then if we look in here to where we see increases, if you look at, and for most people, 00014, we see a lot of increases at the board office level for financial compensation, but we don't see that in other places. Particularly if you look at page 11, line 1780, who is that? Without any type of organizational chart, you have an individual that's budgeted at 95,861. You actually paid out 96,611, and then they're budgeted at 188,215. So we can't tell if that's one person. You add in 2 people to that budget line item. What's going on here? So prior to Thursday, and I've asked Ms. Walker this, when can we get some data? The staffing plan, if Bogalusa City Schools is fully staffed at every school, what those numbers look like, what those people look like in the budget, because we know we lost all our bus monitors and we're down to 1 special ed bus monitor. There's no explanation in here as to how that benefits us or how, what financially that does for us. What percentage of the budget is reflected as salaries versus indirect costs and recurring costs would be good to know. Because again, we've been waiting on that audit plan for travel, for all these things, and those impact the actual health of the district. Thank you.
Yes. On that line 1780, that's 2 employees. So it's going up to 2.
Yeah, I figured that.
It's 2 right now. So
Two people split 95, and now they're gonna split
it was
180.
1 last year, now it's 2.
That's what I'm saying. It's going up. Okay.
But anyway, it's 2 people right now. And somebody else you had.
188 is the 2 added together.
I have a question. Felicia Mingo, 734 Avenue G. My question is about the bus monitors. I do understand that it's a cost saving, I get it, but my question is about the safety of the children. I do know some of the buses have over 50, 60 kids on that bus with no one on there to assist. It's dangerous for the bus driver. I don't know if it's a plan in place, but I hope it is a plan in place, because I do know some of the buses only have like 20 kids. When I was over transportation, when we had a discrepancy like that, we moved certain stops to other bus drivers. I don't know what the plan is, but I'm just asking the board to come up with a plan to make sure that these kids are safe on these buses and that the driver can drive without having any hiccups, scared that she's going to have an accident, or they're scared that something's going to happen on that bus, because parents are calling, asking them about things that's happening on the bus, and there is no way that they are able to give a parent an answer, because you can't watch the road and watch those children as well. I do understand that we have to save money. I get it. But I think we need to save money in other places, because the safety of children should be the first top priority. And I understand if it's only 20 or 30 kids on the bus, but when you get to 50 and 60 kids, think about, as a classroom teacher, we barely can watch 20, 25 in our classroom. Then I'm driving and have to focus on the road to make sure no accident happen, and I gotta watch 50, 60 kids on the bus. I think we need to revisit that. Thank you.
In the morning, I'm having a meeting, Ms. Akane and myself, we're gonna be meeting with some bus drivers, and we're gonna be coming up with a plan to take some of those students and move them to other buses. And I started from day 1, we were doing a count and also I had the schools to do a count. And me and Ms. Akane, I can tell you, we have working hard, we were running around looking numbers and every day calling to see how many we have. And I know I've been in contact with one of those bus drivers, and she's reached out to me, and I know that she's overloaded, and we're gonna be taking care of those issues, moving them around and doing just what you had stated that we used to do. So we're meeting in the morning on that.
Thank you so much.
At 8:30.
Thank you.
we see, you know, it is, some people have less students, so what we're gonna be doing, trying to move the students, you know, and then you don't really know till school start what the students moving in Bogalusa, you know, they may be in this area on
Right.
this year, and then next year they move. So with the buses, they were the first ones to know what kids are. So we're looking at that and trying to evaluate and see if we can adjust it and let parent people, the bus drivers who don't have as many students move around and move around. So we probably have to do a whole assessment, and Dr. Hurston, we've talked about that for the buses for the year, to see how we, because in Bogalusa, they move all around, so. We are working on that, we have paid close attention, and my heart go out to those who do have additional students on the bus, and it is, you know, we taking safety first, so we'll be meeting with them in the morning.
And with the buses, we're looking to have cameras on all our buses. But one of the drawbacks with the system we have now, we have to go to the bus, pull the disc, bring it back in, look at it. So we're trying to get to where we can access it remotely.
Right.
And watch it in real time, including the principals and the disciplinary schools can watch the buses in real time.
Yeah.
So if a bus driver have a complaint, we ain't gotta wait till they stop their bus. They can automatically go online and just review the camera.
Yes, we,
And also, we said that, we spoke to the gentleman on the phone last week or week before, I'm not sure, about tracking. Like, a lot of parents are waiting for the kids to see how the buses, where they gonna be going, you know, is this, they almost about to pull up to my route. They're putting a tracking system in there where parents can track on their phone how soon the bus gonna get there.
Oh,
So the
nice.
guy's supposed to come meet with us and give us, you know, the new way of
Oh, yeah, that
tracking,
would
also
be
the
interesting.
visual. So, we're gonna be looking at that.
yeah, you probably save some on insurance with that visual too. I mean, I know a lot of times that they do give you a
But
little
right
break.
now, like
to have
Dr.
that.
say, we got to go pull the camera off
Right.
the bus, bring it in and look at it.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
we just trying to get up to break on technology. So, but it's a lot, but we dealing with it. And then also in the budget, I didn't mention, I think I mentioned to y'all briefly, the central air unit at high school, the cafeteria, they patched it up again.
Say one more year.
So, we're looking at probably having to replace that unit, and it's one of the larger units we have, because they got to get a crane and et cetera to go on top of it, so we're looking at spending a good bit of money over there. So, I'm gonna have to add that in the budget somewhere. So,
Well, if it's getting to the end of the summer, we can go with that one and get us through the end. No, can't.
Close.
No, we gotta do
so,
the motion.
we got to put it in there, because they say the leeway about 8 weeks for the unit to come in. So if we're gonna go forward with it, I'm gonna have to go and tell them we have to order it and get it. Because it's a lot of work in that, the crane, to get that one off, put the new one on, it's a lot of work to fix it. So, but we've been doing a lot of things, this summer, they worked hard on cleaning, and, I hope you've seen some of the schools that they cleaned up, we did some painting, and, you know, little things that make it look beautified, and I think we just, the custodians, maintenance did an outstanding job this summer. I want to applaud them for what they did.
All right, thank you, Ms. Walker. Can I get a motion that we consider adding this for Thursday, the 2025-2026 budget?
I make a motion that we put the beginning budget for 25-26 on the agenda for Thursday night, regular meeting.
Second.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second.
Roll call. Paul Cates,
Yes.
Curtis Krill,
Yes.
Odie Hughes.
Yes. All right, that's the end of my portion, Mr. Gates. Close that committee meeting, close my meeting, it's up to you to adjourn.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta get public.
Oh. Okay, that ends our committee